Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville, and I'm here to talk to you about Forever, Season 1, Episode 7, Deep End. Let me tell you a little story first. My younger brother had a good friend of his, and his family, black family, were well off. They owned a well-known franchise here in the town. Now, they had 3 children, and my younger brother was friends with the oldest son. And in turn, I became friends with him as well. But him and my brother were pretty tight. But the thing about being born into affluence is you take for granted the choices that are given to you. Because they are given to you, you didn't have to work for them. Their parents got out the mud and came up the hard way, and they fought their ways out of the projects and hard knock life and the whole thing, and they provided a better life for their children. Now, the oldest son took advantage of that. He's like, yes, I'm gonna go into the family business and I'm gonna do well for myself. They had a sister who seemed to be upon the same path, but she ran into a knucklehead ass dude, and well, you know what they say about love, it can mess any damn thing up, so. But then they had a younger brother. And when I met my brother's partner, the younger brother was in high school, and he was a F up in every way, shape, or possible. And every time you looked up, the expensive school that his parents were putting him in, his parents had to show up all the time to pay off the school or donate or wing or something to the school to keep his dumb ass in school, because he didn't give a shit. Everything was given to him, so he didn't care. He crashed a car a week. He did whatever the hell he wanted to do. And he grew up in a gated community, but every time he looked up, he's in the hood hanging out with the D-boys, and now he wants to be a dope dealer. He wants to be a gangbanger. And then one night, I think he might have still been in high school, and he got drunk, crashed his car, but he ran into somebody else and killed him. It was bad. And the strange thing is that his parents had to, work their magic and not mess up their son. And I don't know how that whole thing went down, but they did whatever they was supposed to do, whatever they weren't supposed to do, to save their son and still give him at least a few choices. So they saved him from going to jail, and they kept everything out the press, and they, made the other family fill out an NDA and paid a shitload of money to them. Now, no, money does not make up for the life of a lost, of a loved one. It didn't matter, because he still found a way shortly thereafter to land his dumbass in jail. He was always headed that way. He didn't care about the privilege. He didn't care about the choices. And in this life, all you want for those close to you, those that you love, is for them to have simply choices. Let's talk about it. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville, and we're here to talk about Netflix's Forever, Season 1, Episode 7, Deep End. Now, I'm not going to do a long recap. I really don't want to do a recap at all. I'm assuming that you've seen this episode. If not, go into the description and find episode this analysis is based on, and you can see Centel and my reaction. And if you do that, come back and watch this deep dive. The thing about this show is, once everything is good, everything starts to unravel, and sometimes you can barely see it, but the cracks they're there. Now, in this particular episode, we have Keisha and Justin thinking a lot about their futures. And we introduce a new challenger into the mix, who is Quincy. I think that's his name, Quincy, played by Will Catlett. Excellent job. And Will Catlett is a great actor. He's usually good in everything he does. He comes along, he's Keisha's father. And we learn that he's chasing his baseball dreams. He's got some issues. He's got some demons himself that deal with his father and him chasing his dream. And it destroyed his family. But he's chasing his dream of being a baseball player. But he comes back. He's in the mix now. He likes to have some drinks. He's a drinker. And he does some things he doesn't understand, or maybe doesn't even care about Justin's neurodivergent nature. He just knows that if you're going to be with my daughter, you got to be strong. You got to be willing to take care of her. You got to be ready for what the life is going to throw at you, because life is hard. I know I'm out here chasing my dream, and life has kicked me in the ass every day. And he catches Justin off guard at a party for Keisha, and it does not go well. And Justin's stammering and stuttering because being put on Front Street in front of everyone and being challenged in a way that Keisha's father was challenging him, he wasn't ready for it, and he didn't do well. And Quincy ended up having a talk with Keisha, and he's like, that boy seems all right, but you need to realize that you may be all that he have, and he is holding on to you for dear life. He may not have anything else. And he even said a bar, which I'm glad that they did this in the show, and he's like, but what do I look like giving advice to you? I'm a deadbeat absentee father. And she was like, you're not a deadbeat. He's like, but I am absent. So he acknowledged, and it wasn't that he was a bad guy, and I'm also assuming from some other things in the show that he was also sending money to Keisha's mother. It just wasn't enough, especially after she lost her scholarship to the school. But we see now that Justin's confidence is shaken, where on the other hand, Keisha's confidence is gaining. And Justin appears to be lost. And he gets into it with his mother and his parents because they push. I think he gets accepted into Northwestern, which is where his mother graduated from. Father didn't go to college. He picked up a trade, became a chef, owns his own restaurant. But the mother has connections. She graduated probably top of her class. And she just wants that. With his neurodivergent nature, she just wants to make sure that he's going to have choices. The problem is at 17, 18 years old, she never really checks in with him on what choices does he want. And that's the fine line in being a parent. Because you need to check in with your kids. They're old enough now to start living their lives. They're the ones going to have to live their lives, not you. You can't make all the decisions for them. But at the same time, sometimes as a parent, you got to do what's in their best interest, and they don't know. They haven't lived enough life to know what's in their best interest. Sometimes you have to protect your kids from themselves, because they'll work on emotions. They'll work on, I think, I maybe, I won't. And that's not how life works. Life don't give a shit. So Justin had fallen in league with one of Keisha's cousin's boyfriends. And they were producing music together, and he had loved music way back. And through a series of unfortunate events, he rediscovered his love for music, creating music, and he was good. But, he was going to go to Northwestern early. That's outside of Chicago. Keisha was going to go to Howard in D.C. And they weren't going to see each other. And that long distance thing may work for some, but it is difficult to navigate that, especially when he's used to seeing her every day. Talking on the phone to somebody, having to cheer you up, having you help you feel better is not the same as them being there. The touch, feeling their warmth, being able to cuddle, amongst other things. So Justin, when he went to a prom party with Keisha, he had the best time ever because there were so many black people at this thing, and he had never really been around that many black people before. And he was like, is this what it's going to be like at HBCU? Like, I like this. I didn't have to have my guard up the entire time. I just got to be me. But Keisha started to feel crowded because as much as she still wanted to see Justin, be with Justin, she wanted Howard to be her thing, to get out and figure out who she was. And if he came along for that ride, she wouldn't be able to do that. And they had to have some hard, uncomfortable conversations about what the future held for them. You know that I love my quotes, and I have 3 quotes today. The first one's by Jacqueline Jacks, and she says, every struggle in your life has shaped you to be the person that you are today. Be thankful for the hard times. They can only make you stronger. The second one is by Israel Ayavor, and they say, your future depends on the choices you make today. The future, for this reason, can be predicted by your day-to-day living. And the last quote is by Carl Jung, and he says, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And this media therapy deep dive is going to be called Simply Choices. Now, having choices about your future is empowering. It means that you have the agency to shape your own life path with the decisions that you make. Now, these decisions, whether big or small, can contribute to the type of future that you will experience. But you have to understand the potential impact of your choices, whether they're good or bad, and the impact that they will have on the future that you want to live. All that I want for my kids is choices. Hell, all that I want for myself today is choices. But it's hard. It's really hard. And y'all know how hard it is. Sometimes that dollar, you get it on this day, and it don't stretch all the way to the other day that you need it to stretch to. So you find other things, side hustles, second jobs, investment real estates, gamble. I don't know what it is that you do to try to make money. Whether that's legal or illegal, smart or dumb as hell, you try to create a better future for yourself and your loved ones so that you can have choices. And unfortunately, a lot of those choices are financially based. Now, not all of them, because sometimes your lack of choices is right here. Sometimes you can't get out of your own damn way. Your thoughts betray you. You can't do better because you can't see yourself doing better. That's a hard one to get past. And that's why you have to be mentally strong. Maybe you need some therapy. You know I'm an advocate for mental health and for therapy. But maybe you're a person who doesn't believe in that. It's not my thing. In order to simply have choices, you need some agency and control over your life. You need to have a sense of control over your life. Now, does that mean you can control your day 100%? No. But figure out what things you can control. Don't let your life run you. You run your life. And yes, I understand as I'm saying this, I am speaking to myself as well. Because there's many a day when it's hard to get out of bed. There's many a day when depression is whooping my monkey ass. There's many a day when I just don't fucking feel like it. Yes, I absolutely do wish that whatever obstacle it is that's up here, that I could easily get past it and every day wake up on some David Goggins shit. Well, maybe not that. That man is insane. I like him. Insane. You know, everything you do, your habits, when your habits can become routine, when your routines can become lifestyle, that can shape your future. You don't have to go from 0 to 100 all at one time. Go from 0 to 3. Tomorrow, I'll try to go from 0 to 5. The next day, try to go from 3 to 6. The day after that, go from 5 to 10. You build gradually. Celebrate your successes. And build on those. You scaffold your wins. Accept the W's wherever you can get them. Be mindful of your choices. They have to align with your goals and your vision. If you're trying to lose weight, you can't plop into bed every night and eat a damn entire bowl of, ice cream and eat a bunch of damn cookies. Those two things don't go together. A lot of people find comfort in things that betray their goals and their vision. You can't say you want a better life and you spend an inadequate amount of time with an alcohol bottle. You can't say you want to be productive and you smoke a lot of weed. That tends to make you shut it down and give you the munchies like a mug. The things that you do in your normal, everyday life have to align with your goals and your vision. You have got to learn from your choices. You got to do better. I used to talk about the potter's wheel. And to me, the potter's wheel is, you ever seen like how people make clay and they hit the little button with the foot or whatever and the clay keeps turning around and you keep adding clay and taking clay away to make the perfect whatever. Life is like that. Life will keep adding bullshit to your life and you keep trying to strip it off. You keep trying to remove the bullshit to get to the perfect you. But it's hard if you don't remember your past mistakes. When you added a big ass pile of clay and it turned your little vase that you was making into a piece of shit and you had to down there start over. Well, it shouldn't be an hour from now you do the same dumb shit again. It's like, I forgot. This messes up the whole thing. I add this much clay. That's on you. You have got to remember your past mistakes. Learn from them and move past them. Now, that's not to say that you won't make brand new damn mistakes, but you shouldn't keep making the same mistakes over and over. You know, there's a thing called the butterfly effect. And that means small choices you make can have an effect over time. The thing is, most of the time when you think about the butterfly effect, that signals something negative. You did this thing, it was bad, and it's going to have ripple effects and it's going to affect you down the line. But the thing we forget is that's also for positive things as well. You start to make small changes to your daily outlook, to your daily routine, and they will have ripple effects and improve your lifestyle, your choices, your trajectory. And last but not least, you have to connect with your future self. If you want to go to a certain place, you want to do certain things, have you written it down? I know a lot of people can say, well, I want this. Okay. What's your roadmap? How to get there? When you get there, what does it look like? Is that your short-term goal, your medium goal, your long-term goal? What does it look like? What are you doing every day to progress 1% towards that goal? See, your vision Your goals, objectives on a daily basis have to align with that future goal, your future self. Whoever it is or whatever it is that you want to do, who you want to be, what are you doing to get there? I got a buddy of mine that talks about when we was in high school, he used to cut hair and he wants his own barbershop. Now, I don't know if you know this because I'm so young and debonair. Don't say shit. But to this day, and we graduated high school a long time ago, he hasn't done not one single thing towards achieving that goal. He hasn't went to barber college. He still cuts hair on the side every now and again, makes a few dollars. But not to sustain him, not towards that goal. So now it's just pie in the sky. It's just some bullshit you say. I know so many people that talk about their best days were in the past, or high school was the best days of life, college was the best days of their life. And you can't move forward if you're stuck and live in the past. Because that means you're not even present. And there is no future for you because you stuck back there. Do what it takes to present yourself with some choices. And if you're not talking about yourself, you're talking about a loved one. Do what's necessary. Help them have some choices. I didn't have anybody help me with choices when I was a young man. But I'd be damned if my kids don't have any choices because I sat back and expected them to get it out the mud like I did. Because if I had somebody to help me, I had some guidance, I had some mentorship, I'd be a lot farther than what I am today. And I understand, this is my journey. This is the journey that God has put me on. This is the road that I have to walk. And that's nobody else's fault. That's mine. This is the cross I have to bear. But I can't set my kids up for failure because I refuse to do what I'm supposed to do as their father. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville. Make sure that you like this. Share it with anybody, everybody. And leave me some comments about what you thought about this episode of Forever, what you thought about what I said about making choices. And if for some reason you haven't subscribed, hit the button, subscribe, watch all the other videos. You might find something that talks to you. At the end of the day, we use this, but it's even better when you use this.